Greetings everyone and welcome to the channel. Today, we will be talking about Canada Express Entry. Are you not eligible for category-based draws? Your job may still be in demand. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We provide immigration news on a regular basis. We will be discussing the following today. Alternative pathways for individuals seeking entry to Canada and PNP. Draw details of Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia Nominee Program, NSNP, Ontario, Prince Edward Islands PNP, Pay PNP, Saskatchewan's, and finally Yukon PNP. Welcome to today's discussion on express entry and its implications for those who may not be eligible for category-based draws. While you may not meet the criteria for certain draws, there's good news: your occupation could still be in high demand in Canada. In this segment, we'll explore alternative pathways and strategies for individuals looking to make Canada their new home. Canadian government won't rule out changing immigration targets to address housing challenges, Fraser says. With the introduction of category-based express entry draws, some candidates are being chosen for Canadian permanent residents with greater emphasis on their professional experience than their comprehensive ranking system. This new measure has opened immigration possibilities to many who may not have had such options previously. This begs the question: are there any options for those who work in professions not targeted with category-based express entry draws? The answer to this question is the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. Though previously the PNP had taken a backseat to express entry, it is today Canada's #1 pathway for economic immigration into the country. Run by every province except for Nunavut and Quebec, PNPs follow the targeted draws model long before express entry, choosing to nominate candidates who can help address each province's demographic and economic needs. As such, most PNPs have a list of targeted occupations that are in high demand in their province. We have listed some of the in-demand jobs by province, which are targeted through each province's PNP, with links to relevant resources. Keep in mind that each PNP has its own basic eligibility criteria, which must be met in addition to having full-time work experience in a targeted or in-demand profession. For those looking to see if any job titles match their own, it is recommended to search each job title's National Occupation Code, NOC, to determine job responsibilities and fit to your current role. NOCs are assigned to each job and are the Canadian government's way to categorize jobs in the country. Now, let's talk about the Alberta PNP draw. While the Alberta PNP, AAIP, doesn't have a formal list of targeted occupations, the province has posted the occupations that are currently in high demand. This list shows the number of people who are currently employed in each role and includes occupations such as retail sales supervisors, registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses, transport truck drivers, retail and wholesale trade managers, accounting and related clerks, and more. In addition, Alberta has posted its list of ineligible occupations, meaning that individuals who work in these jobs are not eligible for PNP immigration. The province also holds targeted draws for healthcare workers and agriculture workers under the dedicated healthcare pathway and the priority sectors and farm streams. Now, let's talk about the British Columbia PNP. The British Columbia PNP, BCPNP, separates its targeted occupations into 4 categories: tech occupations, including data scientists, web designers, physicists, and astronomers, etc. Healthcare occupations, including dentists, pharmacists, physiotherapists, etc. Childcare occupations, which specifically target early childhood educators and assistants. Other priority occupations, which specifically target veterinarians and animal health technologists and veterinary technicians. Now, let's talk about the Manitoba PNP. The Manitoba PNP, MPNP, the oldest PNP in Canada, organizes its targeted occupations into 10 different categories: business, finance, and administration occupations, including financial managers, human resource professionals, administrative officers, and more. Natural and applied sciences and related occupations, including architects, data scientists, land surveyors, mechanical and civil engineers, and more. Health occupations, including pharmacists, psychologists, physical therapists, and more. Occupations in education, law, and social, community, and government services, including lawyers, social workers, therapists, early childhood educators and assistants, and more. Occupations in art, recreation, and sport, including audio and video recording technicians, graphic designers and illustrators, sports and fitness program and service directors, and more. Sales and service occupations, including corporate sales managers, retail sales supervisors, cooks, bakers, and more. Trades, transport, and equipment operators and related occupations, including construction managers, tool and die makers, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and more. Natural resources, agriculture, and related occupations, which specifically target managers and agriculture. Occupations in manufacturing and utilities, which target manufacturing managers, utilities managers, power engineers, and power system operators. Rural and demand occupations, which target nurses' aides, orderlies, patient service associates, industrial butchers, meat cutters, poultry preparers, and related workers. Now, let's talk about the New Brunswick PNP. Though the New Brunswick PNP, NBPNP, doesn't have a list of targeted occupations, the province does provide information as to the sectors which have the highest job vacancies, with further ability to filter these results to specific regions of New Brunswick. In July 2023, these sectors are sales and service, including occupations like retail salesperson, cashiers, retail sales supervisors, and more. Other services, which include administrative assistants, hairstylists, barbers, estheticians, bus mechanics, and more. Business, finance, and administration, including light-duty cleaners, financial sales representatives, police officers, administrative assistants, other customer and information service representatives, and more. Trades, transport, and equipment operators and related, which encompasses roles like store shelf stockers, clerks, transport truck drivers, letter carriers, laborers in food, beverage, and associated products processing, among others. Education, law, and social and community government, including roles such as elementary and kindergarten school teachers, university professors and lecturers, non-commissioned ranks of the Canadian Armed Forces, building superintendents, and more. Health occupations, which include professions like licensed practical nurses, early childhood educators and assistants, home support workers, nurses' aides, orderlies, patient service associates, and more. Note that these reports are updated monthly, with demand sectors likely to see some change from month to month. These updated reports can be accessed on the official webpage. Now, let's talk about Newfoundland and Labrador. The Newfoundland and Labrador PNP, NLPNP, classifies its in-demand occupations under 4 broad categories. Healthcare occupations. This encompasses professions like physicians, nurse practitioners, licensed practical nurses, clinical psychologists, and more. Information communications technology occupations, including professions like software developers, biomedical engineers, UI, UX developers, AI developers, and more. Technical specialist occupations, including jobs like security specialists, cloud specialists, bioinformaticians, data analysts, offshore technicians, and more. Aquaculture occupations, encompassing jobs like captains requiring a Fishing Master Class 4 certificate, farming and feeding managers, facility technicians, assistant managers, and more. Now, let's talk about the Northwest Territories PNP. Like some other PNPs, the Northwest Territories NTPNP does not have a list of targeted occupations. However, the province provides a forecast of the top in-demand jobs for the next 15 years, starting in 2019. Instead of categorizing these roles by category, the NTPNP groups occupations by required education or experience level and lists the 5 roles forecasted to have the most job vacancies from now until 2034. These include roles that require less than a high school level of education. The 3 professions that have the highest forecasted job vacancies for the next 15 years are respectively janitors, caretakers and building superintendents, light-duty cleaners, and cashiers. Roles that require a high school level of education. The three professions that had the highest forecasted job vacancies were respectively heavy equipment operators, except crane, retail salespersons, and transport truck drivers. Roles in the skilled trades that require an occupational certification level of education. The three roles with the most forecasted job vacancies here were respectively carpenters, electricians, except industrial and power systems, and automotive service technicians, truck and bus mechanics, and mechanical repairers. Roles that require a college diploma level of education. The three roles with the highest forecasted vacancies respectively were administrative officers, administrative assistants, and social and community service workers. Roles that require a university degree level of education. The three professions with the highest job vacancies here were elementary school and kindergarten teachers, registered nurses and psychiatric nurses, and secondary school teachers. Roles that require a management level of experience. The jobs that had the highest vacancies here were retail and wholesale trade managers, construction managers, and financial managers. Now, let's talk about the Nova Scotia Nominee Program, NSNP. The Nova Scotia Nominee Program, NSNP, has a small list of targeted occupations spanning several sectors. Notably, these targeted occupations are all within training, education, experience, and responsibilities, TARE, levels 3, 4, and 5, and peer codes span from 0 to 5, with roles at the 0 level being responsibility intensive and needing the most education and experience of all jobs classified, and roles at the 5 level requiring the least education and experience. The targeted occupations in Nova Scotia are A. Nurse's aides, B. Food and beverage servers, C. Food counter attendants, kitchen helpers, and related support occupations, D. Light-duty cleaners, E. Transport truck drivers, F. Heavy equipment operators, G. Construction trades helpers and laborers. Now, let's talk about the Ontario PNP. The Ontario PNP, OINP, uses the OINP employer job offer stream to invite individuals who have both an employer job offer and have skills in an in-demand position. Importantly, the stream also has a number of other stipulations, such as median wage, work experience, language ability, and more. In addition, in-demand jobs come in two forms: in-demand jobs for positions anywhere in Ontario and in-demand positions outside of the Greater Toronto Area, GTA. Some positions that are in demand anywhere in Ontario include home support workers, caregivers, and related occupations, meat cutters and fishmongers, retail and wholesale, construction trades helpers and laborers. Some positions that are in demand outside of the GTA include machine operators, mineral and metal processing, metalworking and forging machine operators, mechanical assemblers and inspectors. Now, let's talk about Prince Edward Islands PNP. Prince Edward Islands PNP targets the following in-demand occupations: nurses' aides, orderlies, and patient service associates, transport truck drivers, construction trades helpers and laborers, light-duty cleaners, other laborers in processing, manufacturing, and utilities, material handlers, process control and machine operators for food and beverage processing, industrial butchers and meat cutters, poultry preparers, and related workers. Now, let's talk about Saskatchewan's PNP. Saskatchewan's PNP, SNP, doesn't have a targeted occupation list. Instead, it chooses to target occupations in tier levels 0, 1, 2, and 3, apart from those included on the excluded occupation list. Professions on this list are not eligible to apply to the SINP through the express entry and occupations in demand streams. Finally, let's talk about the Yukon PNP. Yukon's PNP does not have a list of eligible occupations. Instead, it utilizes two streams, the skilled worker and critical impact worker streams, to target individuals in occupations within tier levels 0 to 5. Employers and employees with a Yukon job offer must both apply to the program. That's all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. Please subscribe and see you later in the next episode. Till then, take care.